Boro back in league action again tomorrow against Manchester City at the City of Manchester Stadium in a match, well, we've said it so many times recently, a match that they must win. Sooner or later this run without a win is going to come to an end. We're now 12 games into it as far as the league's concerned, and with Boro now second bottom and really not scoring goals either, there's a real cause for concern at the moment. Gareth Southgate is keeping a brave face on it, and he was certainly heartened by last Saturday's display against Blackburn Rovers. Although it was a 0-0 draw and those sort of results aren't good enough at the moment, he was pleased with the resolution that the team showed, the battling spirit, the fact that they kept a clean sheet. He thinks it's a platform to build on. Well, we'll find out, won't we, at Manchester City. At least Southgate can bring back a few players into the squad. He's now got Didier Digard back from a 3-match suspension that he picked up following his sending off at West Brom in January. He's also got Gary O'Neill available, and that gives him a bit of a conundrum because in the centre of midfield last week he played Josh Walker and Matthew Bates, and both players did a very good job. They showed the sort of spirit and determination that he wanted to see from the players at this difficult time, and so we're a little bit hard on them to be left out. But the situation Boro find themselves in, there's no real room for sentiment, and you would think that Digard and O'Neill were first choices when available. He's got a number of options really, both in midfield and attack. A lot of people were mystified by the decision not to play Afonso Alves alongside Marlon King in last week's match, and certainly Boro looked really toothless up front. So there's options there to perhaps freshen things up by starting Alves, who after all has scored 4 in his last 4 starts, and we've been waiting for him to click for some time now. So really he needs to do it now if he's going to do it before Boro really get themselves in any more trouble. Other options up front, of course, are Tunjai, although Tunjai's been well out of sorts really since the turn of the year, and he doesn't really look with it. So he could move Tunjai back to midfield, perhaps to the right side of midfield, but I think Gareth wants a bit of steel in there, and that's why I think he'll probably go with Digard and O'Neill, with Downing on the left, and then, well, let's see who he puts on the right, potentially Johnson, or he has the option of leaving Josh Walker in the middle of midfield alongside somebody like Digard and playing O'Neill wide on the right, which is after all what he was brought to the club to do. So a real dilemma there for Southgate, although at least he's got selection problems of a good kind, which he's got plenty of players available for the positions. People like Arca are on the fringes at the moment and not getting a look in, and I think that's reflective of the fact that they haven't really clicked this season either so far. At defence, Justin Hoyt will be disappointed not if he doesn't start after sitting out last week's game in favour of David Wheater. Southgate's plan at that point was to have 4 big lads at the back to counteract Blackburn Rovers' height. City, of course, present a different proposition. They've got ball players like Robinho. Sean Wright-Phillips will play after appealing against the retrospective red card that he picked up for retaliating on Rory Delap last week. So there's got some skillful players in there. City have obviously strengthened. We understand Shea Given's got a very good chance of being declared fit to play and make his debut after his big money move from Newcastle. They've got pacey players like Craig Bellamy as well. So it's not going to be easy at the City of Manchester Stadium, and they're going to be looking to bounce back from what was a dreadful result for them in Stoke City last week when they went down 1-0. They're a little bit out of trouble in terms of points. They're not really close to the bottom 3 at the moment, but if they lost tomorrow they could get dragged back into it, so they'll certainly be looking to avoid any sort of defeat. But as I said, they're trying to get out of it. Their record isn't fantastic. They've won 7 at home in the league this season, but they've also lost 5. So that suggests that if Boro can get about them and maybe upset them and get the fans against them, there's a chance that they could pull something off. It's a televised game in front of the cameras, so let's hope that Boro put on a good display and really show people that they can get out of this. Gareth Southgate made a terrific point in the Gazette today where he said that in the first 12 games of the season Boro genuinely looked like a top 8 side. For the last 12, as he also points out, they haven't. So I think what he's grasping at there is the fact that Boro have played like a side that can finish well above the relegation zone on occasions, and if they get that form back in the remaining 14 games, they've got every chance of surviving. So it's really a game that Boro really have to try and win from the outset, and I think that's why Gareth Southgate will be positive and to put a side out there that he thinks can get a result.